Let's do this.
Yo, what is going on, you guys? This is GamingWithSal. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I want to go ahead and basically give my review of the 3 new maps that have come with Season 3 so far. And these maps, of course, include Backlog, Hovec Sawmill, and finally, Aniyah Incursion. So what I want to go ahead and do is basically give you my impressions and just tell you how I felt about all 3 maps. And I have played a few games on Backlog as well as Aniyah Incursion. However, when it comes down to Hovec Sawmill or Hovec Sawmill, however you want to pronounce it, I did not get to play on that specific map. I have no idea why it wasn't coming up in the rotation for the Season 3 Mosh Pit. The only maps that just kept coming up were Backlot and Aniyah Incursion, so I'm sorry you guys, I tried my best to get into a game of Hovec Sawmill, but I did go ahead and jump into a custom game with bots. I put the difficulty to mixed, which, let's be honest, is something that I'm going to be facing anyways with skill-based matchmaking. Who knows, I might even get into sweatier lobbies than the bot lobby, but the point is, I just wanted to have some sort of gameplay for you of Hovec or Hovec Sawmill in the background while I give my review of that map later on in the video. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into our first map that I'm going to be reviewing very quickly, and that is Backlot. So initially when I heard that Backlot was going to be coming to Modern Warfare 2019, it was sort of like a roller coaster of feelings, right? Like in the beginning, I was kind of excited that it was going to make its way into Modern Warfare 2019 because I loved it back in COD 4, I loved it in Modern Warfare Remastered, but when it came down to Modern Warfare 2019, I was initially excited, and then the excitement went away when I remembered what happened with the map Crash. So Crash was also a COD 4 map, and it was also, of course, a Modern Warfare Remastered map, and it was a map that I actually enjoyed a lot, and I would actually get excited whenever it came up in the rotation for those games. However, I can't say the same thing about Crash here in Modern Warfare 2019, because whenever it does come up in the rotation, I sort of get like a sour taste in my mouth. You know, like, first of all, when it comes down to Crash in Modern Warfare 2019, the one thing I absolutely hated that they did was add safe spaces unnecessarily, and on top of that we have the whole mounting or leaning mechanic in this game that pretty much ruined a map like Crash, because all people would ever do is sit in some of those buildings just mounting up against the windows and just waiting for anybody who runs across the middle courtyard area with the broken helicopter in the middle. So that map was just not enjoyable whatsoever, and I had a feeling that maybe Backlot was going to face the same issue, just because when it comes down to Backlot, there's also many different buildings and many different hotspots on that map that I'm pretty sure people are going to always want to go to and just camp it out for the rest of the game, especially when it comes down to skill-based matchmaking, because most of the time you're going to be matched up with players who have that sort of playstyle, that sweaty, hardcore playstyle. So that was the kind of mindset that I had walking into this map, but after playing it for a little bit, I was surprisingly pleased with the way it played out. I mean, there wasn't that much camping, the map actually had some decent flow to it, and even with skill-based matchmaking, it didn't feel too bad. Like, I didn't share the same negative feeling towards this map like I did with something like Crash. So that is something that I loved right off the bat. And another thing that I noticed is that this map isn't an exact replica of Backlot. Like, they actually made some changes to some of the way the buildings look. At first, when I jumped into this map for the first time, I actually didn't realize that it was Backlot. Like, I was trying to figure out how this was like the COD 4 version or the Modern Warfare Remastered version of Backlot, but then eventually as I got to the middle of the map, that's when I started recognizing, oh, okay, yeah, I can see the familiarity between this map and the past versions of it. So at the end of the day, Backlot, in my opinion, is an actual fun map to play on, surprisingly. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about Aniyah Incursion, because when it comes down to the original map, Aniyah Palace, there was a lot of issues with it in terms of players just not having fun on it. For example, when the game first came out, a lot of people complained that this map was just way too big for something like 10v10, right? And that ground war should be implemented in a map such as this. Ground war later on was implemented, however, it seemed like that it still wasn't enough to redeem this map, right? People still did not enjoy it. So I guess what they decided to do is take another try at it and make it into a 6v6 map, and of course they called it Aniyah Incursion. Now, at first I was trying to remain positive and hoped that this map was going to play nice with 6v6. However, it's facing the same issue, in my opinion, that it did on day one, and that is it plays way too slow, in my opinion. Once again, my my opinion. I don't know if you guys are enjoying it, and if you are, I'm glad you are, but Aniyah Incursion is something that I am not enjoying at the moment because, like I said, it's not that people are camping, it's not that people aren't moving around, it's just I still feel like it's too big for 6v6. However, I did jump into 10v10 randomly at one point yesterday, and this map is actually in the rotation for 10v10 and it played a little bit better. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Aniyah Incursion is not really a good 6v6 map, however, it is a better map for 10v10. So if you guys really want to go ahead and play on this map and give it a shot, I recommend jumping into 10v10 and just hope that this map comes up in the rotation for that playlist, because in my opinion, like I said, it's much more of a pleasant experience in 10v10 than something like 6v6. Otherwise, I do like the aesthetics of this map. They did go ahead and change it up a little bit to where it looks like it's more of a rainy weather themed than the sunlight theme from the original version. So that is the only difference I see. And of course, like I said, they sectioned off some parts of the map, which a lot of fans did ask for in the past. So I'm glad that they actually listened to that feedback and eventually brought it later on into the game's life cycle. So at the end of the day, it's not a terrible map. It's just a map that plays way too slow for my taste when it comes down to 6v6. Now finally, let's go ahead and talk about Hovec Sawmill. I still don't know how to pronounce this name, but I'm just gonna roll with it. Anyways, this map, like I said, for some reason I haven't been able to play on it for regular matches. I had to jump into a bot lobby in custom games just because, like I said, I tried my best, you guys, to just continuously jump into the season mosh pit playlist, but for some reason Hovec Sawmill just did not want to come up in the rotation. So just for the sake of gameplay in the background and just to get a taste of what this map sort of feels like, I jumped into a game full of bots, once again mixed difficulty, so that it can replicate regular multiplayer as much as possible. And this has to be my favorite map out of all three maps that have come with season 3, and the only reason is because it has much more of an open style layout. There are buildings, but not as much, and the open areas that are on this map don't seem awkward, and just the flow of the map is there. And I love that it's a 3-lane traditional map because that's something that I felt like we were lacking since day one of Modern Warfare, and I'm glad that Infinity Ward is actually bringing out maps that are somewhat enjoyable compared to the ones that shipped with the game. So at the end of the day, Hovec Sawmill is something that I am really enjoying a lot, just in terms of the way it's designed and laid out. It's a shame that it's not been coming up in the rotation for me. Let me know in the comment section below if it's showing up for you guys. I'm not sure if just Infinity Ward hasn't thrown this into the season 3 mosh pit yet, or if there's like a glitch to why it's not coming up for anyone to be able to play on. And if the majority of y'all are able to play on it for some reason, then at that point I would say that I just have bad luck. But I hope I get to play on this map at one point in a regular multiplayer setting instead of with bots. But coming from an overall first impression, like I said, this has to be my favorite map so far out of all three maps that have come with season 3 here in Modern Warfare 2019. And with that said, you guys, that's pretty much my overall first impressions / general review of these maps that have come to the game with this new update. Let me know in the comment section below of what you guys think of these maps. Have you guys played on them yet, and how are you guys feeling about them? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below if you guys want to go ahead and share them. But with that said, that's pretty much all I have for you in today's video. So if you guys enjoyed it, please go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, click the bell icon so you'll never miss an upload, and follow my social media accounts to stay connected. Links will always be in the description below, and I will go ahead and talk to you guys in the next one. So take care of yourselves, and bye.